Well, I'm delighted to introduce Trevor Immelman to Sportsvibe TV. Here we are in America, Trevor, not long to go before the Masters. And that is a tournament that's making you smile right now, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. For many reasons. You know, obviously I have very fond memories there. You know, playing the Masters as an amateur in 1999 was a great thrill for me at that point. But then obviously winning the tournament in 08, you know, really kind of has been the pinnacle of my career up until this point. And
up to now, Trevor, up to now.
Well, you know, I'd love to build on that. You know, that's the plan.
It's not a bad one. It's not a bad first major to win, though, is it?
No, absolutely. It was, you know, absolutely a dream come true.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I look forward to it for those reasons, but also just because it's such a fantastic event. The atmosphere, the facility, everything is just second to none, really. So it's a great event for many reasons.
There's a lot of great golfers who never won the Masters, who do not own a green jacket, and you have one already.
Yeah.
And you've still got such a long way to go. So I mean, you're not lucky. I mean, you won it. You led from the start, didn't you? You led from pretty much your first shot all the way through to your last shot. That's some effort to do that.
Yeah, it hasn't been done too many times, and so you know, that's something I'm proud of, because it's a different feeling when you know, you have to sleep on a lead. You know, and really go out there every day with everybody watching you as the leader. And so it was an interesting week for me from that standpoint, but it was a week where everything just seemed to fall in place, and I felt comfortable, my game was in top shape.
It's an amazing thing to do. I mean, when you look back, can you put your finger on how you managed to do that? Because as you say, I mean, the pressure was on you. You led all the way. I mean, who is this Immelman guy? Surely he's going to crumble. And you never did. What was it? Sort of the I don't know, the sort of the naivety of youth, or what?
No, I don't think so, because I'm such a student of the game and know so much about the history of the game. I don't think I could really, you know, fool you into believing that I didn't know what the moment was. I was very well aware of what the moment was, but you know, I believed in myself, and my game felt good, and I'd had good results at Augusta in the past, and so, you know, I know how to play the golf course, and so I felt comfortable, and I knew that if I went out there and executed my game plan, then, you know, I would be okay. And so I really had a tremendous sense of peace about the whole situation. You know, there was never any panic, and I just played some great golf.
As if winning the Masters is not enough, it was an incredible year for you that year, because earlier that year, you know, you had a potentially quite a problem,
yeah,
which you got over. Perhaps you'd like to explain what happened, because to win the Masters any year is very emotional, but to do it that year in particular, perhaps you'd like to explain why.
Yeah, well, 4 months prior, I guess December of 07, I was having some health issues, and we eventually figured out that it was a tumor on my diaphragm.
The size of a...
size of probably a racquetball, I would say.
Oh, okay, I was going to say a golf ball.
No, a little bigger than that.
Oh, really? Okay.
But, it started presenting some serious issues with breathing and not being able to breathe effectively, and causing tremendous pain. So, you know, I had to go through the whole surgical procedure, and, you know, be in hospital for 7 or 8 days, and getting the whole thing taken care of. And so, you know, I just, when I look back at it now, you know, I'm obviously very fortunate by the fact that I never had to, you know, get any extra treatment. The tumor was benign, and I was able to, you know, once I'd recovered from the surgery, you know, everything would be fine. And you know, and the recovery went fine, and the rehab went fine, and when I started getting back to my game, it was a little rusty to start, but things started coming around, you know, a couple of weeks before Augusta. And you know, funny things happen at Augusta National. It's a very emotional place, so much history behind it, and you know, I just got there and felt comfortable, and had a great week, and things just fell together.
Now, I mean, things like that put life in perspective, don't they, I guess, and golf is the beautiful game that it is, but it is a game. So I don't know, maybe did that do something for you, your sort of pre-Masters experience? Did it put everything into perspective, maybe take the pressure off you in a sense when you played golf?
In certain ways. I think both experiences, you know, what happened with the tumor, and then also, you know, winning the Masters, I mean, both of those add perspective. But you know, golf kind of is like life, you know. You really just got to roll with the punches and move along and
ups
do your
and
best.
downs. Huh?
Yeah, and that's just the way it is, and that's why it's such a fantastic game. And you know, fortunately enough, you can play it for many years, and you know, you can just kind of keep moving along.
Now you're South African, Trevor, and South Africans are sport mad, but tends to be rugby and cricket mainly, maybe football, but particularly rugby and cricket. And I guess when you were at school, you played rugby, you played cricket. So how have you become a golfer and the golfer that you have become?
Well, that's a good question. I played all sports at school. And as you say, you know, the rugby and cricket are so huge in South Africa, and so, you know, everybody's really passionate about, you know, all sports, but those two in particular. But for me, you know, I've got an elder brother, and when he decided to take up golf, when he entered high school, you know, I kind of tagged along with him and his friends to the golf course and started hitting a few balls. At the time, I was only 5 years old. And for some other reason, I just fell in love with the game from that age. And you know, I continued playing other sports through, you know, till probably the age of 11 or 12. But you know, my passion always lay with golf, and so that's what I did. And every spare moment I had in my childhood was, you know, spent at the golf course or hitting little chip shots around the house.
Around the house?
Yeah, absolutely.
Lots of broken windows and
a few. Luckily, I had understanding parents, and so it was a bug that bit early on, and you know, I just kind of kept pushing through.
So maybe some of your friends, you know, their heroes were the Springboks, or maybe the sort of the, I don't know, the Sean Pollocks of the world, or the Jacques Callises or whatever. But for you, it was, well, Ernie Els, but also the great Gary Player.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, I have tremendous admiration for all those guys that have flown the flag for our country. But you know, with me having such a love for golf, you know, Mr. Player has been a tremendous part of my career and somebody that I could really look up to for many reasons. And you know, I just find myself very fortunate that I've been able to spend so much time with him and really learn from him and hear some great stories and, you know, have some great fellowship. So you know, it's been something that you know, I'm very thankful for.
Now, when you won the Masters, leading from the front, you had a certain Tiger Woods chasing you in that final day. And Tiger, when he chased people, he normally caught them, but not you, my friend. Not on that day. Since then, obviously, Tiger's had his problems, but it means that the field is a lot more open at the moment, isn't it? And I mean, you know, the question who's going to win the Masters this year is an impossible one to answer, I guess.
Yeah, that's accurate. I mean, I would say that in most years, you know, you could read a list of, I would definitely say through the 80s and 90s, you know, there was a list of maybe 5 or 8 guys that you know, you knew were going to win. It was going to be the Normans, the Langers, you know, those type of guys.
The Ballesteros.
Well, yeah, exactly. You had 5 or 6 guys, 5 to 8 guys that you knew were going to be up there come Sunday. It definitely has opened up now. You know, the state of the professional game is, you know, as strong as it's ever been and as diverse as it's ever been, and that's great. And so it's going to be interesting again to see. I think there's a crop of really strong European players coming through right now, and that could, you know, and any number of them could win the Masters or any major for that matter. So there's some interesting things that are going to happen, and it just adds to the whole atmosphere of Augusta National. So it'll be good fun.
Okay, 2 easy questions to finish with. If you can't answer who's going to win the Masters, can you answer who's going to win the Rugby World Cup and who's going to win the Cricket World Cup?
South Africa winning both. The easiest question I've had all day. You know, obviously with the cricket, it's going to be interesting with the guys, you know, over there in the subcontinent playing. Presents a few challenges in itself. But you know, our team, I know that our team's been preparing well, and they really do stick together, and they play as a unit. So you know, I obviously wish them all the best, and I know that, you know, they've given it their best. So you know,
the rugby, they're getting a bit old, aren't they now, those boys? Those defending world champions.
I mean, we have the deepest pool of talent.
Here we go.
Of any nation on earth. I mean, it's I'm absolutely fascinated You know, when I speak to guys back home and when I speak to players, rugby players from back home, and especially ex-rugby players, how impressed they are by the pool of talent that is coming through there right now. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think going to New Zealand and playing the World Cup there is going to be, you know, pretty hard. I think it's going to be hard to beat New Zealand in New Zealand, but it's going to be a great event, and it's something I always look forward to.
Okay, Trevor, well, lovely to meet you. Best of luck at the Masters, and congratulations on everything you've done so far.
Thank you very much.